Hey up everyone, and welcome back to another tactics video where I'm going to be taking a look at surprise. This is another means of trying to fight on your own terms, and it's so effective that in some circles it's sort of like a kind of dark art where it's really rather unsporting and underhanded, and you shouldn't be doing it when you can fight fairly. A famous or infamous surprise attack like Pearl Harbor, to give a not entirely random example, resonates in a way that stand-up fights don't. But that doesn't mean that it's not a smart idea to attack somebody who doesn't know they should be fighting, because it gives you such a tremendous advantage. This is war. We're not interested in being fair, we're interested in winning. So historically speaking, surprise is a big deal. You don't really have to trawl through history to find good examples of it, but how do you actually pull it off, and what do you do to stop other people pulling it off against you? The real key to surprise is empathy. Being able to put yourself in your opponent's shoes and look at things from their perspective. So, for example, in this combat mission Black Sea scenario, I can flip the camera around, put myself in the shoes of the defender and say, I need to stop my opponent from getting across this river. He can cross the river in two places, here at this ford or here at this bridge. So I'm going to set up my defense here. Flick back round to me and I can say, from that position, my opponent can't see over to my far right flank. I have some reinforcements coming up, which he doesn't know about. My reinforcements are in BMPs. BMP is an amphibious vehicle. It's crap at almost everything else, but it can swim. I can get it down to the river without my opponent seeing it, knowing that I have an amphibious vehicle. I can swim across, but I can hook round and hit him in the back. Something else to consider is that speed and surprise go hand in hand. There is no point in getting the drop on your enemy or catching him off guard if you give him time to react. And speed itself is a means to gain surprise. Popping up somewhere where the enemy isn't expecting you to be yet, getting to an objective first, something like this, getting across a river very early in the game and hitting an enemy motorized infantry company in the flank before it's really even deployed, that's a good use of speed and surprise. Of course, there's a lot you can do to influence the enemy and play to their expectations or generate expectations in one area before delivering the main effort somewhere unexpected. Feints, feigned withdrawals, engine noise, splitting your teams into smaller components so that it looks like there are more units coming than there actually are. These are all means by which you can deceive the enemy to gain surprise somewhere else. On the flip side, the best way to guard against being surprised yourself is considering every eventuality, having a very good understanding of the ground that you're fighting over and the enemy that you're fighting against, and then building the flexibility into what you're doing so that you're going to be able to react. So for example, I've talked before about defense in depth. It's very difficult to surprise a defense in depth because first you have to come through this outpost line, which is there to give advance warning to the defenders. And as time goes on, as the enemy tries to push through the defensive zones before he gets to the main line of resistance, he's going to reveal where his main thrust is. At the same time, when you're attacking, it's absolutely vital that you clear up and get rid of the enemy's outpost line. You need to blind the defender before you can really achieve surprise. Broadly speaking, it's a good principle to play your cards as close to your chest as possible, not let the enemy work out what you've brought along or what you're doing with it, keeping as blind as possible while trying to see very well yourself. And of course, surprise isn't confined to combat missions. If you're playing a game like ARMA or Squad or Red Orchestra where you are the pixel truppen, surprise has a much greater effect because all the other pixel truppen aren't puppets to some kind of mastermind who can see everything, has a very good idea of what's going on, and can give them orders based on things they don't know about. When you're dealing with real people, the problems of poor communication, general chaos and uncertainty are all going to factor in to magnify the effects of surprise, like these poor guys in this Humvee down here who are getting filled in. These guys took an obvious route to try and flank our position, so we stuck an ambush up there. So that's a pretty brief overview of surprise in a combat mission context with a little bit of armor thrown in. But of course it can be used absolutely anywhere to tremendous effect. Thanks for watching guys. If you have any concepts that you'd like me to take a look at, then post a suggestion in the comments and I'll catch you in the next video.